What's going on, Slay Bays? It's your girl Ashley and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I really just wanted to take a break from all of like the first impressions and the full face using only testing out new products kind of thing. And I really just wanted to sit down and do a really glam slay, if you will. So I'm really hoping that you guys enjoy this video. I will be implementing some products that are new, but it's not going to be like a whole video of first impressions, if you know what I mean, because sometimes I feel like those videos can get very overwhelming for me. So I really just wanted to kind of regroup, take a step back, and just sit down and do my makeup. So if you guys are here for that, don't forget to press the subscribe button, click that bell so that way you guys are notified every time I upload, which is every Tuesday and Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 2 times a week, every single week. And without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and hop right into the look. I am going to start today's look off with the eyes. You guys already know NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer, tried and true. It's what I love to use to prime my eyelids. This does retail for about 30 bucks. Pretty expensive for concealer, so keep that in mind. Definitely use something a little bit cheaper if you guys have it at home, but this is my jam. This is what I love, and it works. So now that the lids are nice and primed, I'm going to move on to eyeshadow. Now I am going to be using this palette that I have used in the past by ColourPop. This is the Mud palette, if I'm saying that correctly. And what I love about it is that it does have some really beautiful shades in here. It has a mixture between cool tones and also warm tones. Now I really want to use this in the very inner corner as a very nice pop. So we'll see where this look takes us. So to start, I will be taking this warm tone brown right here in the palette, and I'm going to take that on an M441 by Morphe, and I'm going to start rocking it back and forth in my crease and all over my lid. So after I'm done buffing this soft brown shade in the crease, like I said, I am going to take my brush, whatever's left on the brush, I'm just going to sweep it back and forth onto the lid. Alright, so now that I have that color blended into my crease and also all over my lid, I'm actually going to move on to liner. Now the liner I'm going to be using is this one by Maybelline. This is the Maybelline Eye Studio Gel Liner in the shade Blackest Black. And the brush I'm going to use to apply the product is an ABH A28. You can also use a MAC 210, which is very similar to this one by ABH. So now that I have both of my wings on, I'm actually going to move on to the skin. Now I will be trying out the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. I have never received so many DMs to try out a product as I did with this product right here. While everybody has been saying it's a dupe for the Tatcha Silk Canvas Primer, I'm not entirely sure about that, but I was all about it. I was like ready and willing to try it. So I'm just going to go ahead and pop this all over the skin. So I will definitely say that it feels extremely smooth on the skin, which I like. I'm also going to put some on my forehead right here. It definitely feels very similar to the Tatcha one, but the Tatcha one has skincare benefits to it, whereas the one from e.l.f. doesn't. But again, if you guys are looking for something very similar, you know, I think this is very similar, if not a spot on dupe for it. The foundation I'm going to be using in today's video is the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop Full Coverage Foundation. I live for this foundation. It is extremely full coverage. So if you struggle with acne scarring like me, or just acne in general, or if you guys like full coverage glam, then this is going to be the foundation for you. I do feel like it is a little bit drying on the skin, so definitely moisturize very good beforehand. The shade I'm going to be using today is this one called Warm Vanilla, and I'm going to mix it in with a little bit of neutral buff to get my perfect shade. Okay, so the foundation, it's nice, it's blended out. As you can see, it definitely is full coverage, which I am all about. I'm now going to go ahead and go in with some concealer. The concealer I'm going to use today is by e.l.f. This is e.l.f.'s brand new 16-hour camo concealer. Let me just say, I freaking love this concealer. I did switch shades from the last time I used it. In a previous video, I used a light beige, but I find that this shade is a little bit too warm for underneath the eyes. So today I'm going to be using a light sand. And then I'm going to take a little bit of light beige and put it right here on the very outer part. And with a blending sponge, I'm just going to kind of buff and blend it out. Now, I am well aware that this looks extremely bright considering, I mean, my foundation. It's a little dark. It's a little bit like tan, but we'll make it work. Don't fret. Oh my God, this concealer by e.l.f. is amazing. Like, if you guys haven't tried it, I definitely recommend. Like 100%. Whatever concealer I have left on my sponge from buffing and blending out my under eye area, I'm just going to take it right down the center of my nose, my cupid's bow, and my chin. I'm now going to go ahead and move on to setting directly underneath my eyes, and I'm going to use this by Collab. This is the Ultra Fine Set Stage Loose Setting Powder in the shade Porcelain Ivory. Then I'm going to go in with the MAC Studio Fix powder in the shade NC30, and I'm going to put this in all the areas I didn't put that loose powder, and then I'm just going to kind of sweep away any that's kind of sitting underneath my eyes, just so that way it's not so stark white. So before I do anything else, I definitely want to finish off my very lower lash line and add that very pop of color right in the very inner corner. But first, I'm going to take that soft brown shade on a flat definer brush, and I'm just simply going to drag this right alongside my lower lash line. Girl, I love it. I love it. I really love it. And with an M507, I'm just going to kind of buff and blend alongside the edges just so that way it's very soft and smoky. You guys, I haven't like done a wing in so long, and I'm rocking with it. I'm vibing with it. Like, I really am. Then with my nude liner by Rimmel, I'm just going to kind of apply this right here in my waterline to really make my eyes pop and stand out. So you can definitely stop here, but I'm going to go the extra mile and add that very pop of color in my very inner corner. I'm going to take this mint shade right here, which is super pretty, and I'm going to put it in my very inner corner. So I'm really just focusing the majority of the color right here on the very inner corner. And then with my brush, I'm just slightly feathering it up onto the lid, like the very inner 1/3 of the lid, kind of still staying within the inner corner area, but just kind of like feathering my brush so that way it's nice and diffused. Now this is coming off like a little bit darker than like I envision, but I am going to go in with a very shimmery pigment to really just make this stand out and pop directly over top here in a second. So just stay with me, boo-boos. Just stay with me. With a fluffy M433, I'm just going to kind of go in little circular motions to really just buff out these edges, because I don't want this to appear too harsh. I want it to be very soft and diffused, if you get my drift. So just do what you got to do to get in there and really just buff and blend the edges. Moving right along, I'm going to go in with a loose pigment by ColourPop and Kathleen Lights. This one right here is called The Fish, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up a little bit of the pigment on a pencil brush, spritz it with a little bit of Fix Plus, and put it directly over top of that little minty blue we already put there. And this is just going to add some shimmer, and it's really just going to go whoosh. With an M433, I'm just going to go right here in the very inner 1/3 of my lid and really just buff and blend out these edges right here. Now you can definitely just stop right here in the very inner corner. I definitely blew mine out very far just because I did want it to be, you know, a little bit more like editorial-esque, if you get me. And I am living definitely different than things I normally do on my channel, and I like it. I'm vibing with it, and I hope you guys like it as well. I'm going to switch over to using this palette right here by Wet n Wild. This is called my Glamour Squad, and I'm going to pick up a little bit of that black on a flat definer brush and put it on the very lower lash line towards the outer V area to really just connect it with my liner and make it look like it is a little bit more like elongated, if you will. And with a little bit of that dark brown on an M507, I'm just going to buff this directly underneath the black on the very lower lash line. And again, I'm only focusing this right here underneath the black, just to kind of smoke it out a little bit more. With an M433, I'm going to pick up a little bit more of that dark brown transitional color, and I'm going to actually rock this into the socket of my crease to define it out a little bit more. And I'm just going in with a little bit of product, and I'm keeping it in my crease. So much for something super subtle. You can count on me to always want to amp things up, okay? Okay. I'm gonna go in with a little bit of mascara. This one is by Milani. This is Milani's new highly rated mascara. You guys have literally heard me talk about this a million times over since I reviewed it in a few videos back, and honestly, I have not been able to put this mascara down. If you guys haven't tried it, definitely go snag it up because it literally is that good. So I went ahead and popped on my falsies off camera, and now it's time to do my post notification shout out of the day. And I want to give a huge shout out to Sanya Muhammad. She says, girl, you are literally the queen of affordable makeup. Hashtag Slaybase, hashtag notification squad. I'm so glad you love like my affordable makeup looks. Honestly, if you guys take anything away from my videos, I want you guys to know that you don't have to break the bank to get a really nice affordable look. You know what I mean, Jelly Bean? Now, if you guys want to be featured in my next video, all you have to do is turn on your post notifications by clicking that bell, and also leave me a comment down below with the hashtag Slaybase. With that, we're gonna go ahead and move on to bronzer. Now I will be using the Silky Matte Bronzer by Milani. I've been using this bronzer a lot, like literally almost every single video. I really truly do love it. This one is in the shade Suntan 03, and the brush I'm using to apply is just a MAC 135. Now, a trick I like to do if my nose contour is looking like a little scary, like a little bit too dramatic, I like to take a little bit of my face powder on a clean brush, and I'll just kind of buff and blend it directly next to the lines just to have more of a seamless blend. The last thing you want is to have like two really dark lines alongside your nose because it can come off very obvious, and we're really just trying to create natural looking shadows. I'm gonna go even further and take a little bit of translucent powder alongside my nose to just really clean up those lines. And I'm also going to take this powder directly underneath my bronzer for more of a dramatic effect. Y'all already know this is a full glam. This is like a beat. And I'm even going to go as far as taking the powder and just really pouncing it in the very center of my forehead to just brighten it up a little bit more, because I feel like when I went in with the bronzer, I kind of just like darkened up my entire forehead, and that wasn't the vibe I was going for. So cool beans. We're looking pretty sculpted right now. I'm gonna go in with highlighter. Now, I will be using this highlighter by Persona Cosmetics in the shade Zuma. This is probably one of my favorite golden highlights. It's like a light gold, and it is so freaking gorgeous. Like, hello, I freaking love it. If you guys haven't tried this, definitely try it out. You can pick it up at Ulta Beauty stores or Ulta Beauty online. For blush, I do want to use this Adore Blush Duo by Jouer. Now, I'm going to mix both of the shades together, and I'm just going to go ahead and pop this onto my cheeks. Now, the brush I'm using, so many of you guys asked me in videos, this is a sheer powder brush by Smashbox. It's one of my absolute faves because it really just applies the blush in such a diffused way. I'll actually have this link down below in case you guys are interested. But again, I'm just popping it onto the apples of my cheek for a really pretty flush of color. I'm just going to go ahead and brush away all of that baking powder and go back in with my blush and just apply a little bit right here to the center and over my nose. For my brows, I have to go in with the Ready Set Brow by Benefit. This is probably one of my ultimate favorite brow gels, and I'm going to use this to comb through my brows. They're looking a little ashy, so I need to bring them back to life. Moving right along, I'm gonna go in with a lip liner. Now, Jouer carries one of my favorite lip liners, hands down to date. This is their Long Wear Cream lip liner in the shade Fawn. Literally such a beautiful kind of like brown nude, if you will. What I'm gonna do with this is I'm gonna put it all over my lips, and I'm gonna leave the center bare. I'm telling you, their formula is unlike anything I have ever experienced with a lip liner. Do you guys see how smooth that went on my lips? Anyways, liquid lipstick time. I'm gonna use this one by Dose of Colors. This one is in the shade Sand, and I'm gonna pop this directly in the center. I'm not gonna put it all over. I really just want a nice contrast between the outer area of my lips and the center. And last but not least, you guys, I'm gonna go in with a setting mist. This one is by Flower Beauty. I love this stuff. This is called the Seal the Deal Hydrating Setting Mist. Right now my skin looks a little dry. This is really going to melt all of those powders into the skin, giving me more of a skin-like appearance. And the best part, it does not spray out like water hose. It is so fine, like, girl, in it to win it, okay? In it to win it. Okay, anyway, let me spray my face. I took a bath. And just like that, you guys, this is the final and completed look. What do you guys think of it? Let me know down below in the comments. I went ahead and just pulled my hair back, like, whew, I like slicked that thing back just so that way you guys could really just focus on the eyes. I'm really loving it. I wanted to do something that was neutral but still incorporated some pop of color. And again, I have been seeing so many people over on Instagram do a very bright inner corner, and I really wanted to do something like this on my channel. So I'm really hoping that you guys enjoy this video, and if you guys did, make sure you guys give it a big thumbs up, press that bell right next to the subscribe button so that way you guys can be a part of the notification gang. Okay, gang. No? Anyways, I love you, and I'll be sure to catch you guys all on the next one. Deuces.